powerful in CVP. So we'll see what he can bring later on. We are now loaded into the first game, and in the bottom left-hand side for Goat and the gang and Root Gaming, it is DNS.
Serral said 50-50?
Serral said 50-50 for the clan war. Everyone else was very happy with it. Bani, Lambo, Armani, we were all like, yeah, I love this.
That gives me a little bit of faith, man. That gives me a little bit of faith, because let's be fair, Serral's the biggest brain on your team. If you exclude yourself, obviously, CatZ. Anyhow, spawning over in the bottom right, here's the legend. It is Maru. Man, this is intense, dude. Like, yeah, a little bit of fake proxy going on here. Maru, this was the one map that he did lose against, which was against Showtime. He went mech on this map, and he did start it with a fake proxy as well. And I really thought that he had the big edge against Showtime, but yeah, I hope he doesn't fall back to some of that mech play, because it was pretty garb.
Yeah, it didn't look too pretty. I think he's dropped another map. Maybe Wardy can tell us against who. I don't quite remember, but I remember Maru having dropped 2 maps, perhaps. But he's maybe I'm wrong on that.
Like, he's done really well for me. Like,
yeah,
he had a really good game against Cure. He had a pretty darn good comeback just now against Raynor. So he's... Is it Showtime?
I think there's one more, but it matters. Sound.
Yeah.
When Ben wasn't here to cast it, of course he wouldn't remember.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that was... Sounds had his number, dude. Like, at Katowice beat him in the group stage as well, when it was kind of like one of those situations, and now again. So Sound definitely good against Maru, it seems. But yeah, going up against DNS, this obviously good for you, because he was your last pick against my first, and that's exactly what you want. It's kind of like DNS flies in front of the bullet, takes one for the team, and is like, there you go, guys, you take it away.
Yeah, absolutely, because aside from Serral, which might be the best possible matchup for us, right, because even though Maru can win against Serral, it's more likely that Serral wins. Maru should be pretty wildly favored against everyone else, so it would serve you better for sure to snipe one of the top hitters, right? Whereas DNS, he has been performing really well for a 5th pick. He's done wonderful in the league. But we don't expect him that he's going to be able to beat Maru here. So you know, like, not too much pressure on him either.
No, and honestly, that's where you can kind of perform, if you will. Because I remember, like, against the Grubba-Lub-Dubs, or the Scrubba-Dub-Dubs, as I call them, Showtime actually said he didn't want server pref because it would be better spent elsewhere, because he wasn't very confident against Maru, and they ended up winning. So,
yeah,
you know, sometimes without that pressure, you can be damn good. This already starts off nice for Maru, gets a nice little scout on in there. Which building was that exactly? It was the Twilight, which, yeah, knowing he's not up against a Stargate, that's actually something.
Yeah, really nice wall of power from DNS to already deny the Reaper from doing any more than just poking in and throwing a grenade. This was a proxy barracks. It was a fake, like you said, but it's still a little bit closer than you would have the Reaper if you started the barracks in your main. So just mitigating all the damage that could have done. Good job from DNS.
Look at DNS being a cheeky boy. I actually like this.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. Blackburn it's a bit of a funny map, because scouting that spot once, you scout it again as Maru. Like, if I'm Maru, I'm probably thinking I'm getting some kind of blinky play. And it might be like defensive blink or aggressive blink. That's what he next has to figure out. I mean, he is a genius when it comes to Terran, so maybe he's also thinking, it could potentially be DTs. I'm genuinely curious how he's going to handle this.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. There's a War Prism, of course, as well coming up, so there might be DTs on 2 fronts here from DNS. And yeah, I really like this type of opener, Ben, because it also keeps you safe, right? Like, it makes it so that the Terran has to have scans offensively. However, Maru's going to drop a mine in the main base. DNS is just going to sacrifice or try to sacrifice 1 probe. Maru will unburrow the mine to deny further mining time as he drops another mine in the natural base. And another one right next to the probes. This could be nasty. No, DNS! Oh, 3 targets!
Beautiful, beautiful by Maru. Honestly, really nicely done by DNS, because he was splitting off not just 1 probe, 2 probes there, but that was a 3rd retarget by Maru. So very nice play. Raven on the way as well. That Warp Prism is now in the main base, next to a depot. Should have been spotted. And Maru, he's just like, you know what, we're pulling. We've got a Raven coming out very quickly. So he's not even going to use a scan prematurely against this. I like that by him.
Yeah, really well done by him as the Raven's about to pop up. And yeah, good scouting from him with the Widow Mine drop as well. Gives him a solid heads up for what's going on and reacts as you would expect Maru to perfectly.
Yeah, that was a nice denial of damage there, because ideally the Protoss wants to be ahead maybe a good 9 or so workers right now. I do like the choice of going for an Archon here. Like, a lot of people might be like, what, an Archon? But if you get 2 Archons against non-upgraded Marines, they can actually trade out pretty damn well. Is there more workers dying against this Widowmine drop still? Oh, I saw 2 fall down.
Like
Maybe it was
more,
this
yeah.
Reaper.
That would have been crazy. Let's see if the Reaper has any kills. It might have been just killing probes at the expansion.
Yeah, I think it was.
Ask for the probe. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Archons is a good choice, especially because there is a Raven and no Medivacs. The Raven can still be very dangerous against this, however, as it could disable the War Prism and then make it so that the Archons have a hard time escaping. DNS now angling towards the natural base expansion of Maru, looking for some SCV pickoffs. We'll find you.
Yeah, not bad so far. That was a little bit Larry trying to run up there with the Stalkers as well at the same time. I mean, Maru, oh, this could be big. Oh my god,
oh no.
Sick. Okay, that's great.
There's the scan as well. Yeah, that's huge. And that is the power of the Raven, right? Plus the Cyclone, really well done by Maru there, identifying how to exactly deal with that. And now it's DNS against the ropes. It's going to be a very difficult game to come back from.
Dude, I just got excited about Maru doing that to DNS. That showed, like, this should have been a walk in the park for Maru, right? Like, on paper. But the fact that I'm getting so freaking hyped of anything going well in any situation just shows that this means a lot to me, man. I don't want my boys to lose at all, but yeah, DNS on the ropes. Bit of a messy situation for him right from the get-go, and this push, I don't think he's going to be able to stop this one.
It doesn't look like it. He has Blink on the way. He has a Robo facility as well on the way. The Archons have been taken down. That would have been what maybe allows for a hold here. And he does have a lot of shield batteries, but against tanks, I think that Maru can just slow push this. So it's going to be very, very difficult for the Frenchman.
Yeah, he doesn't have Blink either. So, like, fighting against this, every lock-on is going to be a unit killed. DNS does buy enough time for those shield batteries to get up, but this is the position that you want at the bottom of this ramp. Like, this is proper scary. And DNS, there is a Disruptor going to pop out. Yeah, that could be juicy. Oi.
Stim's going to finish now, so the Disruptor will lose a lot of its potential. Oh, wow, was that shot? I'm not sure.
That was a hope and a prayer right there. It was a real hope and a prayer. Maru's just biding his time. All the upgrades are coming online. He's taking a third on location behind this. That Robo as well. It's going to fall before a second goes out. No repair from the shield battery. That's a rough one.
Yeah, maybe could have overcharged even shield battery to make sure that the second Disruptor goes out. Not going to be the case as Maru now stems forward, a little bit more confident with his Medivacs arriving, that he's going to be able to maintain a healthy army. Those tanks are going to continue to tax DNS whenever he chooses to maybe try to engage. Now Maru's going for the engage. Shield battery overcharge will get popped. Maru is trying to focus fire it down. He will. The Disruptor gets disabled by the Raven on the sidelines. And it looks like DNS might hold here at the front. Nope, the Immortal goes down. And with that, no tanks necessary pushing forward. But Maru's going to do it anyway. Not looking too good.
Honestly, if DNS had those 2 Archons still alive and that Warp Prism, maybe he would have held against this, you know? Like, absolutely possibility, but yeah, this is a rough one for him. He's fighting just for the sake of fighting, you know? If you guys do win this one, I think, in fact, you're guaranteed first in the league, right?
Yeah, we're guaranteed first no matter what at the moment, so that is really nice. And yeah, I agree. I think with the Archons, he holds easily, but I don't think Maru even pushes out if he doesn't take down those Archons, right? Like, it was instant. It was like, I took down 2 Archons and a War Prism. I'm just gonna gather my stuff and push out before even Medivacs are here.
Yeah, definitely. Look at how many tanks are on the bottom of this ramp, man. 4 tanks and everything's unpowered, and yet again, I mean, the Disruptors try and get a shot off, but that resources lost tab doesn't lie. Maru just trading so damn efficiently, and first game did kind of go as expected here. Nice try by DNS with a bit of a cheeky opening, but Maru, too good.
Too good, too good. Wait, Wardy, are we actually guaranteed first? I know we're guaranteed top 2. We're not guaranteed first. Okay, like, I think if Nathanias wins, he can outscore us.
If Nate,
is that right?
Mate, people joked about Nate's team initially, and by people I mean the community, but his team's done really damn well, dude.
Yeah, and yeah, I am cheering for Nate's team after my team just because it's a really fun team as well, right? Like, it's a team that he made based on like how fun the players were, how excited they were to play. Nate was actually reading all of what the players were saying, like, I want to do well, or like, I'm good at team leagues, and, you know, I want to bring creative strategies, and that's what he went for, and it's worked out beautifully.
Yeah, definitely. Like, And it was second pick Gumiho, right?
Yeah.
Which was wild. Like, when I think of wild picks, Euthermal being first was a wild pick. Gumiho's second pick was a wild pick, and then he got Hero third, was actually pretty sick for him. But yes, second map of this series. This is one that I'm feeling a little bit negative about, gotta say, CatZ. You know, like, glass half empty? Yeah, glass half empty here, like, for sure. This is Nightmare going up against Lambo and Pride of Altaris. This is a very good Zerg map. Nightmare has yet to win me a map, actually, in this league so far. And going up against Lambo on a pretty damn good Zerg map, this is a rough one.
Yeah, and Lambo was practicing this map for Katowice as well. So you know, while he doesn't normally like the non-standard maps as much, this is a map that he feels confident on. Lambo hasn't been performing as well as you would expect in the league so far, but he's also had some very tough opponents. So against Nightmare and him being traditionally a CVP sniper, we definitely expect him to win this one.
Yeah. On paper, this is definitely something that is favored for you lads, for sure. And I was looking at this one, I was like, it's my fourth pick. I think Lambo's your third-ish.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, there was just, I got outdrafted, mate. Outdrafted, but my boy Serral. Maybe not as much faith in Lambo, you know. Maybe he was thinking this is one of the ones that's going to go down. Because the rest of them, I don't feel that good about, honestly, but we'll see. Pride of Altaris. What a roughie.
What a roughie. And in the bottom right-hand side, it is my boy, the king for Rebellion and Golden the Gang. It's Lambo.
Oh, and one of the lads, one of the legends, one of the boys. It is Nightmare. All right, cheeky little probe. Yeah, making his way over for a little bit of a hatch block here, most likely at the natural. Now, Lambo, so far, he's taken down one or two. I definitely saw his game against Hearthstone, where definitely got a little bit scrappy there. I think Hearthstone mishandled the gold-based situation a little bit on his side, but how have you liked his ZVP so far in this league for you?
Yeah, I mean, that was the important match that he won. I think he lost against Trap, and you know, like, we haven't seen too much more of that. But in general, I love Lambo's CVP, as the probe will actually evacuate the natural base expansion. Lambo goes for a pool first anyway, into a gold, so not the most conventional start here for him, but the gold should make up for the resources lost early on.
It should, yeah. Like, it's safe, right? Like, going for the gold, if you do it hatch first immediately, it can be a bit of a messy situation. Or if you go for the hatch first, it's just kind of playing a normal map, and then maybe you take the gold as your third. But yeah, both players know what's up now. It's going to be on Nightmare to kind of make his moves here, because your opponent going for a gold, especially gold with 8 patches, well, he's going to be a rich little fella.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are some openings from Protoss that can be pretty annoying against that gold base if you just go for the gold first, right? Like, you can open into a Zealot first and then reinforce with the depths, and that can get pretty messy because the Zealot arrives at around the same time you're starting to saturate your gold, and it's very difficult to get links, much less a queen in time for that. So yeah, this is kind of cool from Lambo. He's gonna get a very fast link speed, so he should be good against any sort of aggressive follow-ups or anything that threatens the gold early on, at the expense, of course, of some economy.
Yeah, definitely. I think Nightmare did go up. He's going to get up against some real big dogs. Like, I think he also went on this map against Rogue, of all people. Oof. And he had a bit of a DT play, which didn't work out for him. But, oh, this game, going for a Stargate, actually. Not any of the Twilight Council tech. That could be something that could catch Lambo off guard a little bit, but we'll see how that goes. It is in a funny location. I wonder if that is one that Lambo will scout, should do, most likely.
Yeah, looks pretty difficult to scout, but he's going to poke in with the Overlord from the pillar, so it's going to be spotted right away. If the Overlord had gone a little bit more straight up into the main, maybe he would have missed it, so it is an interesting location for sure. And this will make it difficult for Nightmare to open, say, Oracle, which might be the better choice otherwise, just because the bases are so spread from each other. So maybe now you open Void Ray into Oracle if you're Nightmare.
Yeah, we do see that his resources are climbing up for that, so yeah, will be a Void Ray opening. He's got a couple of Overlords around his base that he can pick apart, but as a Zerg player on a map like this, especially with the gold, they're kind of like, it's okay. It also buys you a little bit of time, mainly information, obviously. But Lambo, he's looking good so far. You can really see that income tab is starting to ramp up for the Zerg player, despite being a little bit behind in workers here.
Yeah, not too uncommon to be a little bit behind in workers. Of course, there's the pool first that will contribute to that. But yeah, this is not too bad. And Nightmare actually transitioned into a very quick Twilight Council, relying on the Void Ray to kind of clear this. The Overlord's gonna... This is a 500 IQ scout from Lambo, suiciding into the Void Ray, knowing that that's the position that's gonna be most well defended from the Overlord. And I believe he spots the Twilight Council very early, so nice job from him.
Yeah, definitely nice job by him. Obviously, there's a couple of different follow-ups that Protoss can do. They can also, I mean, it's a little out of fashion these days to go for extra Stargates, I suppose, but this might be one of the maps that you could go for it. Obviously, Void Rays did have a little bit of a nerf, but yeah, will be an Oracle follow-up and a DT follow-up as well. Wow. Nightmare's pulling out a lot of crazy stuff here.
Yeah, the DT follow-up I actually rather like. I'm not sure that you want to go from this into it. Just like I like there's an NA player, Patty Mac, actually, who has been doing a lot of Phoenix into DT defensively, and it's super difficult to break, right? Because it's kind of like Corsair DT in Brood War basically, and it works better now because of the Queen Walk nerf as well. So that could be an option. We'll see if Nightmare goes into Phoenix.
Yeah, nice positioning by Nightmare here. That little adept. Oh, that was nicely handled by him. This could have been a much worse situation. I think that shield battery is going to get up in time as well. Very nice by him, even though that isn't the worst situation in the world for Lambo. Losing a few lings and not getting the cancel there, that could have been almost a GG situation. So Nightmare, he's jumping through hoops so far, but they're hoops that he needs to jump through if he has any chance. Oh, another Void Ray. Cool. And a second Stargate. You know what? I like this by Nightmare.
It is very interesting indeed. I mean, the Stargates, even if it's not Phoenix, even if they're not going to target the Overseers by default, should still be able to keep them safe. I wouldn't mind a Phoenix switch still. But yeah, I mean, I think you can be pretty greedy off of this. Maybe look up for an early fourth or something. It's going to be a fleet beacon.
Yeah, because it is definitely a lot harder to push these days if you're a Zerg player. Obviously, you can't transfuse off creep anymore. He has to be careful, though. And Lambo's going for a ton of roaches here. Most likely just kind of safety roaches at this point in time. But we'll see what he really wants to get done, because that queen count is definitely climbing. Creep spreads, yeah, it's really marching across the map as well. It looks like he's kind of going for, I don't want to say an updated kind of queen push here, but definitely a very, very driven push across the middle of the map.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that I like this so much for Lambo. And the roaches do make a lot of sense, right? Because he did scout the Twilight Council, so maybe he thinks that there's a little bit more commitment into A-Tech from it. Oh, this stasis, it gets spotted. Really nice angling there for Lambo. But yeah, it's DTs, and yeah, I don't think there's anything to spot for them right now, right? So Lambo's gonna have to morph an Overseer, and this is where the Phoenix would come in handy if Nightmare had him, right? Because then you can target that Overseer easily with the Phoenix. Instead, it's gonna be the Void Ray's job, which are not gonna do as an easy of a job at it. But let's see what happens here, as Lambo is now at Nightmare's doorstep. Those queens are stepping off creep, so they're not going to be able to contribute too much. The Ravagers, however, are really good with the corrosive bows. If they can land them onto Void Rays, at the very least, they'll displace them from doing their full amount of damage. One of the shield batteries will fall at the front. This queen's not able to transfuse, mind you, so they're going to just retreat now, and the Overseer gets taken down, giving free reign to the DTs.
Only one Overseer for that fight. Like
that, yeah, that was ambitious.
I think he should have been making quite a few and just had them rallied to go in, because he needed that fight to go way more his way, because look how committed Lambo is. Like, he's on 56 workers here.
Yeah.
He does know that the DTs are on their way to be aggressive, though, which is a nice find by him. So he keeps the Lings back, but yeah, he's making his life a lot harder for himself than he should be.
Yeah, I'm not loving it, but he does have a lot of units here, and the static defense for Nightmare is not yet ready. So that is one of the good advantages for Lambo here. The first carrier will arrive, but two carriers aren't too strong at this stage in the game. If Nightmare can get to 4 or 5, then he'll be in a really good position as he starts his next one to try to go up to 3. But Lambo already at his doorstep with a lot of units. Where are those Overseers? Not here, but neither are the DTs. Now the DT spawn and the Overseer arrives at the same time. Lambo should be able to take this down. Hello, turn around, kill it. Nice.
Oh. Okay, so Lambo definitely feeling a bit of pressure here. He's losing quite a few drones, 2 DTs as well. I mean, lots more static defense trying to come up, but that's a lot of Zerg in his face. And the creep spread's here now. The creep spread's absolutely here. Shield battery overcharge in the back there, but look at that. There's just so much Zerg. I feel that Nightmare needs to get on out of here almost, but shield battery is holding on strong. Is he going to recall those probes out of the back? Trying to warp in a lot of stalks here as well.
Yeah, the next carrier is about to spawn. I feel like if Nightmare had just been making any other unit other than the carrier, this would have been a lot easier for him. But as it stands, it seems like Lambo's doing a fantastic job. There are barely any interceptors left on the ground here. So at the very least, he will secure this third for himself. Is that enough for him to transition? He seems to think so, as he's droning up. 61 on the field with 8 more on the way.
I feel that anything would have been better, you know. Even Tempest would have been probably a good call, actually, but these carriers, they've just come out one by one, had all their interceptors sniped the whole time, and they're not doing anything. They need to kind of go back and just kind of regenerate, because right now they're achieving nothing.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine they will end up achieving much at this point, as Lambo is now making Corruptors, the hard counter to the carrier, and he has a wonderful economy now, 20 extra workers, and more importantly, the real estate in the way of 2 extra bases compared to Nightmare.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of sentries out here which will land some force fields where they can, but and Lambo, he is making this look a bit messy here by kind of headbutting up this ramp, but I think he's got more than enough, and he's done the damage that he needed to. And even if Nightmare does get himself out of this situation, which I don't think he will, there's so much creep absolutely everywhere. Expanding's going to be tough.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that Lambo doesn't need to push the issue. Maybe with the Corruptors he can, but at this point he has the better economy, so he doesn't need to win against the army right now, where Nightmare is getting a little bit strong. So not additional carriers though for Nightmare, because he's just so broken. Lambo does have enough here. By the looks of it, the Corruptors are now going to dive into the carriers, and no more time necessary to be wasted in this match, as Nightmare will have to GG.
Yeah, that got a bit closer than I think it should have been. Like, I think you're totally right. If Nightmare was actually producing some of the units and not carriers there, maybe could have been in a little bit of trouble. So, yeah, close one overall. 1-1. That is one of the matchups that we did think was going to be Lambo favored for sure, especially with that map. Sure. But, yeah, next matchup will be Prince going up against Bunny. This is one where we're going to move over to Korea for this one. Oh, this is one that I'm not that happy about either. You know, I'd have much preferred like a Zest going up against Bunny, or a Maru, or even maybe a Ryung actually would have been okay-ish. But yeah, this is a roughie.
Definitely. I mean, Bunny is undefeated in the league. I think maybe the only undefeated player. Now that Ryung has fallen, right? So yeah, Bunny has been killing it, especially in TVT, but he has been asking for TVPs as well. So I am quite confident that he will be able to take the win home against Prince here. And yeah.
Prince has actually done all right for me. Like, took down Max Packs, took down Creator. Definitely got a few wins on the board against some players that most people would probably be like, mate, really? That's also beat Nice. So I think he's actually got a favorable win record overall for me, which is that is saying something, considering some of the players that he's gone up against. In fact, it was Prince against Rogue on that map.
That was the fifth pick?
It was fifth pick, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that is a really impressive record for a fifth pick. Fifth pick beating the best PvP player in the world. Not bad.
Yeah. Creator, he beat Nice as well. In fact, yeah, Prince has done really well for me. So yeah, definitely one of the players that I can look at and be like, he definitely pulled his own.
Most definitely. I was trying to scout here his profile, but not the account that he plays on. Not for either of these players by the looks of it. And yeah, obviously Bunny has done incredibly well. He had a soft cast for the first couple of weeks as well, and that didn't stop him. So now he is out in full force. And yeah, this will be an important win for us. Here is where if Prince wins, all the tides are turned, and you should be favored to win the clan war most likely. But if things go as expected, it's gonna get increasingly difficult for you.
I mean, it's when you've still got Serral in your lineup, and then you've got some advantageous matchups. I think Ryung Amani is probably Ryung favored at the moment, but even that, like Ryung's best matchups, I think, are TVT, and he's been really good TVP.
Yeah.
But yeah, even that one is not a foregone conclusion whatsoever. Like at best, I'd say 60-40 kind of thing, which I don't like if my life comes down to it. But we are going to get into it on Glittering Ashes. In fact, no, it's going to be on your player first here, CatZ.
Oh, yeah, you're completely right. I was watching WardiTV for some reason. In the bottom left-hand side for NV and Goat and the gang, it is the hitman for the gang. Undefeated so far. It is Bunny.
He's also had a really good year so far, finishing like top 12 at Katowice recently. And one of the best fifth picks of the league so far. Spawning over in the top right, representing Benny and the boys, it is Team GP's Prince. Actually, that'd be a really cool statistic, like who has been the best fifth pick and best fourth pick, etc., etc.
Yeah, we should do awards, right? Awards for the players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like most improved, best underdog type thing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Most valuable player. Those would be cool.
It would be nice to see, because I know the big dogs get this all the attention, a lot of the attention at least, but these little fellas that maybe people didn't know about beforehand, such as Prince, yeah, definitely been doing very well beforehand. And this game so far, Bunny is going to opt for a engineering bay block. Prince was pretty quick to see it, does react appropriately as well, with just a handful of probes here to slow things down, and yeah, that should set the tempo for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Benny, this is not something that pro players ever really talk about much, but in your experience, at least for me, it was a great motivator, you know, to be noticed, like if I did well, if I took games off of someone that I shouldn't have, like to get some sort of recognition for whatever it is that players care about, like whether that be your strategy or something like that. It's very motivating. It's a strong driver.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Like, you know, I've done very in the past, like in certain leagues, I remember doing very well. I didn't win, but I felt I did really good, you know, and it was always seemingly very overshadowed. But if there was ever awards for like rookie of the season or biggest surprise performance, biggest breakout, yeah, that kind of stuff really hits home, hits pretty hard. So
it does. Wardy, can we get that? I mean, we could just ask Wardy if we can get it. I don't see why we wouldn't get it. Yeah, we got him. Nice.
That was the most, yes. Yeah, that was the most ever. I don't know whether it means he's listening or if he even heard anything.
I think it means that's a little bit more work for me, but sure, it sounds cool. It's what that implied to me.
All right, this Reaper gets a big scout off here, gets to see the Stargate immediately, which is nice for Bunny over here. He is going for the very standard opening behind all this, getting like a Reaper, getting, let's have a look-see, getting a Hellion out as well for further scouting. That isn't entirely necessary, but yeah, I suppose it can also inflict a little bit of damage later on as well. What are you memeing on me? I was slightly looking at Discord over here, you know.
What's going on there?
Worst attendance rate for casters? Ben.
Nice.
To be fair, I missed one clan war, right? And I gave much advance. It wasn't like, oh my god, Wardy, I'm not here for today. Like, it wasn't one of those situations, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh. How did you do in your tournament? I heard you did pretty well.
I came fourth.
Nice.
It's a league situation, so it's like we're accumulating points for $125,000. Mm-hmm. So I almost guaranteed that I'm in the grand final, like the top 8.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Sort of was mentioning that when he linked the bracket.
He beat me the first week.
Really? That's so sick.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
I like nightmare situation. All right. This Oracle does defy death here.
It's Prince this time around, but all the same, it's going to be pretty tough as the Oracle will get deflected. Bunny did suicide a Reaper to scout the Phoenix as well, so he's aware of what he's going up against.
Everything that Bunny's doing is nice, man. Like, he's not taking damage, he's scouting good. He is getting supply blocked a little bit, but he's back out of it pretty much immediately, so not even that bad on that front. And yeah, getting the Raven follow-up as well, just showing that he's safe, he's standard, he's cool. Behind all this, Prince is getting a third base. Robo and Twilight on the way. We've got a very textbook TVP on our hands.
Yes, indeed. Raven as well on the way for the side of Bunny, so that's going to make it good against robo follow-ups and whatnot. But yeah, what do you expect then from this position in this matchup? Like, what is Bunny's next move here, or does Prince make a move you expect before he does?
The fact that this robo bait is as early as is for Prince, he's hoping that he can survive and to get something out of that. Like, he really is. He's getting Blink on the way. He's going to forgo upgrades, I imagine, try and get a lot of units, which maybe he's kind of hoping that Bunny just plays very aggressive in his face and he can catch him off guard a little bit with the amount of units that he's going to have. And I mean, Bunny could well do that. Bunny can be very aggressive, shamelessly so. But yeah, I think we're going to see Bunny move out, be aggressive, take a third on location, and they're both going to evolve from there. Oh, is that a little Hellion being cheeky in that natural? Coming in handy. Might get a double kill.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. Gets a couple there. Not too bad at all. I was going to ask, are you surprised then? Because Prince does scout the tech lab onto the starport. So I guess you would assume it's a Raven opening. It's still a good idea to go into Colossus as fast as he is when you know there's a Raven on the way or potentially out by now.
So if you constantly say to yourself, I'm not going to go Colossus because of this Raven, then you're automatically putting yourself at a big deficit. I think with Blink being on the map, maybe he wants to try and get damage done beforehand. He can also be aggressive in his opponent's face. This Raven, if he brings it with the army, which he's doing right now, I think it is spotted by the Observer here, which is a big deal. And there are counter plays where you get a very early Templar Archive to try and feed back it down. But yeah, I like Prince has his work cut out for him. Oh, losing that as well, that is brutal.
Yeah, the brutal thing is that a lot of his army is that Colossus at this point in time, so he didn't choose to add extra gateways or anything like that beforehand, and this Raven just completely can neutralize the Colossus and then some, maybe even the Immortal if Bunny chooses to do so. So good timing here from Bunny. Gonna go for the disable onto the Colossus right away, as you would expect. Very nice force field, but actually one whiffs on the side of Prince, and that's not going to be enough. The shield battery overcharge is doing what it can. I think the Raven still has energy maybe for one more disable in a short amount of time here.
Tell you what, that shield battery overcharge has been worth its weight in gold, and that army has stimmed a few times here. Another Colossus won't be getting out. Oh my god, he attack moved, but he moved commanded with the Colossus, obviously, and now Prince's army is just kind of getting slaughtered, but slowly but surely, he's sort of overwhelming. Blink is done now. Maybe Bunny biting off more than he can chew here. He's thrown down a third, but it's kind of a safety third as well, and nice pickups with the medevacs, but that Stalker count is getting big.
Yeah, it is getting big, and he might hold this, but still it's Bunny with an advantage in terms of army. Oh!
Bloody hell. Boys!
I mean, that is just not it, right? Like, he's walked in the Colossus for the most part. I feel like if Prince had just kept this Colossus back a little bit better, he would be in a fantastic position. But as it stands, I think Bunny can just recover. He's just going to float his third over, and this game is going to stabilize.
My boys are feeling the nerves, Cats. They're feeling the nerves, you know?
Yeah.
Maru came in with that swift victory over DNS, and the rest of them, it's like, all right. It's our time to go. It's our time to shine. But they had some stiff opposition going up against them. And Bunny over here, this is where he gets started. No scan, Bunny style, just flies in with the medevac. And, oh, nice pull by Prince. But that is quite a few. Oh, there's a few probes. Nice. Oh, my goodness. Brutal.
Yeah, 7 on that side of the mineral line. So, yeah, that's pretty big for Bunny, who was only lagging in terms of economy. And with that, he's going to more than equalize things. So really nice for him, already going into the Ghosts as well. So he's going to have that tech to rely on, as well as double Viking production for the upcoming Colossus. So yeah, this game is looking amazing for Bunny now. But again, Ben, I feel like he just walked in through. What was that, 3 Colossus that he walked into the army of Bunny, or maybe just 2?
Two. So,
okay.
Like, it's always funny with interference matrix. Like, I learned this fairly early on. Never attack move forward. Like, you can attack move behind, and most of your units will aggro in the correct way. But yeah, he was obviously attack moving forward there, and then the Colossus couldn't shoot, so it just paid it to a move command. But yeah, that's rough, man. And then the second one was just misrallied. Like, he totally forgot about the robo almost. Like, he got it powered up again. Then it's like, okay, when's that Colossus popping out? You get thrown out of whack a little bit. Bunny here is doing a drop with Widow Mines in the top as well, taking out units. The shield battery isn't ready yet either. That Colossus, oh my goodness. It does survive for now, but Bunny ain't slowing down. Bunny ain't slowing down.
He's not. That's a really cool solution, Ben, by the way. It's the type of thing that you don't really get to hear from anyone. It's the type of thing that's kind of like the mark of players that are looking actively for solutions. And yeah, attack move behind. I don't think that I would have thought of that, but it would work. Of course, the alternative would just be to select your army and then deselect the Colossus and attack move. But
that would be as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a slow player like me, CatZ, you got to think of every possible edge you can get. You know, the lazy man's way.
No, I mean it's also sometimes the fastest way, and that's, you know, the most efficient that you can be. So I like it. Attack move from behind if you're already in range. No reason not to do that.
It's also, if you notice this as well, like I love the phrase like work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, you as soon as you hear some things from certain players, and it's like, of course, it's so simple, but it's like to think it in the first place. Sometimes you have to be thinking a little bit out of the box.
For sure. Sure, and it's all those little details.
Look, deja vu. It's the Matrix. But
this time around, there's going to be the shield battery overcharge to shield the Colossus. But Bunny doesn't need a kill move here. He's just continuing to apply pressure while developing a stronger economy than his opponent. So yeah, I mean, Prince can hold this all day. We won't mind.
Even though a few blunders have been had by Prince, you can tell that he plays solid in a lot of these situations. Because even though a lot's gone wrong, the fact that he's kind of holding on here and got shield batteries in all the right locations, and oh my god, those Widow Mines though. They're all on the Colossus.
Wow, great target fire there from Bunny. Going all on the Colossus, knowing that that's all it would take in spite of the Colossus having full shields to take it down. And now he's going to kite seemingly his way to victory. And again, even if he wasn't able to close out the game right now, yeah, Prince probably doesn't know just how far behind he is in terms of economy, real estate, just production being added on. An extra CC coming down as well for Bunny. So this is going from bad to worse. The Widow Mines are going to reset as well. Ouch.
Really nice play by Bunny, honestly. Like, everything was good for him. He played a solid textbook TVP. The Raven usage was nice, got himself a good grasp of the game. The pylon snipe as well for the Robo was pretty damn crisp. That Colossus was like 80% done. Bunny just played a really good game, man. And the next series, it's your boy Serral going up against my boy Zest. And man, I'm happy that I at least got to have server advantage for this one. Mm-hmm. I'm happy that Serral felt that this clan war was 50-50, because so far it is in your favor. And I saw this one as very much a Serral favored thing, but we'll have to see.
Yes, sir. I mean, this is exactly how I thought the clan war would play up until now. I think that's exactly what you thought as well. And if it goes according to plan, Serral should close it out here. But if Zest can take it, we go to the last one. And I mean, Zest has been at times amazing in the CVP, in the PvC matchup. And we saw Serral actually drop 2 CVPs earlier in the league to both Hero and Skillus. I think against Skillus, it was a little bit of like Serral just overconfidence perhaps, and just overcommitting to an attack that maybe he didn't need to overcommit, because I think in the long run he's a stronger player than Skillus is. But Hero tricked him good, man. Like, Hero has been killer, so maybe there's something there for Zest to learn some tricks from.
Yeah, I mean, of all those Protosses you mentioned, if you put Zest in that list, he's one of the best, right? Like,
yep.
He's had times where he's been scary for any player. Like, I will never forget Zest being a dream killer when it's like, oh, is it Serral versus Maru going to be in the finals of CatZ? It was like 2 or 3 years ago. And then it was like, no, Zest beat Serral, Rogue beat Maru, and then we had one of the worst finals of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zest does have it in him to take down Serral, and that cannot be overstated, or understated rather.
For sure. I'm curious about the map as well, because when we looked at the lineup, we thought we're sending Serral against either Maru and Berlingrad or maybe Ryong, both of whom we were happy to take down. But we didn't anticipate that it would be Zest. So do you know why you guys decided for this one?
No. Like, the only thing that I know is I let these boys talk it out, right? And I see that Ryong is very, very energetic, very enthused. Definitely kind of keeps the group together. So he's typing a lot, making sure everybody's fine. And what he's saying is like, guys, give me your take on maps that you want and stuff. And Zest types bro a lot. And he just kind of vetoes a lot of maps for himself. So he's definitely the Chad of the group. Whereas Ryung's the hardworking kid. Maru's, you know, the nice little shy fella of the classroom. But yeah, he was just like, yeah, put me on this one. So I don't know what he was after. I don't know at all.
You figure all this out with Google Translate, I imagine?
Yeah. Google Translate is my best friend when it comes to me and the boys, you know. But yeah, I think he wanted Bunny, honestly. Because Berlingrad is a decent Terran map. I think Serral's okay with it against Terran as well, but yeah, a lot of the players out there tend to think it is a little bit of a Terran map. Just
for sure.
It's not that bad for him.
Yeah, for sure. It's just that we have 3 Zergs, right? So have to pick our battles carefully, and Berlingrad usually falls to a Zerg, and we have a lot of players that are really strong against Terran, and Serral isn't shy to play Roaches, for example, on this map against Terran, so that's something that he's willing to do. Either way, we are loaded in. And in the top left-hand side, it is the greatest player of all time to ever play the game ever. It is Serral. Ever.
And spawning over in the bottom right-hand side, one of the most handsome studs to ever hail from Korea, it is Zest. You know, I still like it when people are like, Serral isn't the GOAT, blah, 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 even by this metric. And it's like, shut up. Like, you son of a bitch. Like, by any metric, he's the best. Like, so yes, really I'm very thankful that, you know, 2018, he was that was undoubtedly the greatest year of all time for any player. But the fact that he can, 4 years later, do what he does and always be a contender. There's not these moments where Serral loses and it's just like, wow, he's washed up. He's terrible. Yeah. He always fights. He always makes it look good and close. Like that game against Sue, for example, when it was the best of 5, like the fact that he lost in the way that he did, but he looked like he was coming back the whole time. But yeah, he's a true fighter, the true Rocky Balboa of StarCraft. He will never die. I love Serral, man. And even though my boy is against him, hats off to him. I think Serral is the GOAT, and yeah, nobody can ever tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're still, we're what, like 12 years into StarCraft 2 or something like that. So, you know, maybe 3 years down the line, if Maru or Rogue or someone like that could like just completely outperform Serral, you could make an argument for them then. But at this point in time, I think, yeah, undisputed, right? I mean, for the last 4 years, he has been consistently the best player in the world. 2018, like you said, he was just, you know, impossible to beat as in terms of results. But 2020, 2021, 2022 now, he has been the best so far. Just in global events, he outperforms everyone. And if you even look at head-to-head scores against all other potential contenders for the GOAT, he wins. So yeah, it's difficult to make arguments against him outside of Rogue doesn't lose in GSL finals type thing, you know, which, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Serral don't play no GSL.
Yeah, people that talked about like, oh, he hasn't competed in GSL and stuff. It's like, yeah, but that's not because he can't. It's just because there's no point moving over there. Like the competition now, it's not as prestigious as it once was. And both times that he went over to Korea, that he partook in a tournament, he freaking won them. You know, and he beat everybody that he had to beat. And it's just like, you know, you need to settle down now, lads, because there is a new emperor on the block, and he ain't a Korean. But yeah, we've had quite a lot of real good foreign talent come along. I mean, what Reina did as well. We thought Serral was 1 in a million, and he absolutely is. But apparently there's another 1 in a million in Reina coming up, and Clem's been showcasing that he's amazing as well. Just a lot of really good talent. And anyway, this game, we have Zest opting for a Dark Shrine build, which this is a bit of a blast from the past, going for charge as well. Ooh. Very quickly. Oh, this is... I like it.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. Serral does tend to, if he ever loses games, it's against stuff that maybe he isn't too well prepared against. It's against mind games and such. And this is a weird one, right? From Zest, it's not a very usual opening here. It's going to be a flood of Swords of Zealots, but the very fast DT follow-up, or maybe the other way around, actually, where he gets DTs, morphs some Archons, and then follows up with mass Zealot attacks. So looks very interesting.
This is going to be a super all-in. Like, this is the most like, this is going to be 8 gates, 2 bases. He's still getting gas just off 2 geysers right now. What has Serral actually scouted here? I don't think he's been able to scout a hell of a lot, but he knows something's up. You know, something's a bit wild. That Roach Warren isn't super early. In fact, I think he made it at about just before 4 minutes, which is pretty good for timing-wise, but already there where the Warp Prism is. Ooh, it's going to get feisty.
It's gonna get super feisty. Serral now starting his lair, but it's super late. It's not gonna give him the option to defend DTs with Overseer, so instead he's having to drop spores, and he has theoretically the best response that he can have against this kind of like just Twilight opening in the Roach, right? And he's gonna be able to make Roaches against potentially most likely what could have been Adepts with Glaives or even Zealots. But Roaches without speed is a very interesting interaction against charge slots, because that can get pretty messy. So can it get messy against the Archons too. So while Roaches on paper are a good response to this, they won't have speed. So yeah, I'm not too sure, Benny.
This was really funny. I just saw a bunch of Zealots warped in. I was like, where are they? I was looking for like pylons around the map or a second Warp Prism or whatever. Just he's stacking them up in the natural. Like, this is probably confusing the crap out of Serral right now.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of thing that if Serral starts droning up at any point in time, he's already on a pretty high drone count against this kind of thing, I feel. But now he's gonna know what's up.
All right, let's see if he can stop it. A lot of the units are out of position for Serral as they are defending the Archons in the main. The Zealots are going to start going at the third. Now the Roaches, again, without speed, are going to be slow to respond here. The Lynx flank the Zealots, but that's not really a good trade for Serral, so he has to consolidate his army. The Spine gets tucked in so that only one Zealot can attack it at a time. The Adept is doing what it can as well, but this is a lot of units on the side of Zest, already crashing into the Roaches of Serral, who are going to have a hard time kiting. Again, no Roach speed available. He goes onto the ramp, which is a good choke potentially for Roaches, but this looks to be too much.
Come on, you can do it, lad. Come on, take out the Queens. He's ahead in supply. I think he's doing it, CatZ. I think he's doing it.
Yeah.
The Warp Prism did die, which is a big deal. So maybe there is recoverability, but those are Archons in the drone line here. And oh my god, they're having to fight against the Archons, and that isn't what they want to be doing. Look at his supply. Oh my god, come on, Zest. Oh, yes! That shot killed 8 drones in 1 hit. Fuck yes.
Yeah, one more shot would have killed potentially all of the drones, but it doesn't matter. Serral's gonna have to tap out. 26 workers went down there, and Zest will equalize things for you, Benny. And yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Oh, mate, what a build. You know, there are protesters out there that aspire to be like Zest, and I'm not surprised, man. He is a legend. You know, he lost against Time earlier, but holy crap. That was the stocking those Zealots up at the natural was, you know, that it's almost like a bronzy build, but it's amazing. Like, I loved everything about it.
Yeah, it looks bronzy in a way, but at the same time it's just brilliant, right? Like, Zest is the type of player that can be so crafty because he has so much experience that he just knows what he's trying to do. And I mean, you were talking about it as it was happening, right? That's gonna confuse the hell out of Serral. Serral knows that there's a Warp Prism. If there's going to be units aggressively, they should be warping in on his side, in his mind, probably, right? So then he should react with more units or whatever defense or whatever setup. But then the Zealots just kind of show up out of nowhere. Unfortunately for Serral, the Lynx kind of catch a whiff of the Zealots in the middle of the map, but not until then. And Zest just gets in a wonderful position against without Roaches with speed. Very difficult to deal with Zealot Archon. So I was curious to see how Serral was going to attempt at it, but tough.
Yeah, that was fantastic, man. I'm trying to log on to Korea now because it's Ryung against Amani, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. Man, what a roller coaster day, dude. I didn't expect Serral to be falling. Actually, I'm so happy. But it's not over yet, man. It's not over. I know it's. I don't want to fall out in the playoffs, CatZ. That's what it comes down to, or before the playoffs.
For sure, for sure. Wait, if you lose, you're out?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Okay.
So you are basically
officially, if Ben loses here, he's not out until Pig's team wins. Pig's team would need one more map. So it's not over, but obviously Pig's team looks good.
Can everyone hear you right now, Wardy, or should we relay this? Okay, cool.
By the way, my boys in the chat, it was like, so Zest just won, obviously, right? And Maru was just like, oh my. And then I don't know how to say Zest's real name. It's like Sungwook or so. And he's like, oh my, Zest. And then the prince is cheering as well. So the boys are happy to see that one because on paper, that is a roughie, man.
That is a roughie. And yeah, Zest really bringing it under pressure as well, right? And so very impressive. I mean, for us, Ben, we're already in the top two. It's I almost want to cheer for your boys, but it's gonna be very difficult because Armani is a beast in this matchup. He had an amazing comeback against Special on this map, Hardwire. One of the greatest, probably the greatest comeback in the league so far, but one of the greatest comebacks that I have seen. Honestly, it was like a 98% won game for Special, and then out of nowhere, Armani came back. So Ryung, not particularly powerful in this matchup, Ben. So on paper, you're right. Ryung probably a little bit better than Armani form-wise, but in this matchup, and as things are going, it could go either way.
You know, I almost stopped listening to what you were saying halfway through there, CatZ, purely because Special, Ryung, let's be real, two different players from different planets, basically. This man over here, top 8, or maybe 12. Top 8 maybe at Katowice. He did amazing. He's back, baby. It is Ryung playing for Benny and the boys.
And in the top right-hand side for Kwangdong Freaks, Goat and the gang, it is Giorgio Armani. He's been doing really well in this league as well.
What's his overall score for you guys?
Let me check. I want to say it's 3-3 or 4-2.
It's not bad. And he was like a 4th pick or so, eh?
4th pick, yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the better players to get 4th for sure.
Yeah,
and I will never forget like Armani doing that. He did a terrible lurker build against Innovation in GSL, but then everybody started doing lurkers kind of quite a bit of time afterwards. But he was ahead, man. He realized that there was something there in it. There was something in it, but there have definitely been times where Armani has played really solid. And he's very fast too. Like he's kind of got that Ragnarok feel to him. That they're both solid and good. They can both be a little baboony, but if it is their day, then it's just their day. Like when it comes to ZBT, as long as you play against somebody playing bio, they're very good at it.
You know, I completely agree with that assessment as well. I think maybe like Su is like the more like the end game version of those guys, right? Like where it's like he is just super mechanically well versed. Like he's not gonna miss any beats, can be really aggressive, but isn't actively like if you look at a game from Serral, like he's really looking at every angle or rain or like they're looking at little advantages with the reads and stuff like that. It feels a little bit like Armani is lacking a little bit of refinement on that front, but when he hits a stride, when things are going his way, he's as good as anyone.
Yeah. I'm absolutely with you. Like, Gumiho won a GSL once upon a time, and that was mainly because Su had no freaking idea what to do against Mech, which was amazing to watch. I just saw like 20 Broodlords flying in, no spellcasters whatsoever, just dying. I don't know if it was the mass Raven bomb era, but it was definitely something went crazy. But yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. But Armani, when it comes down to it, you can definitely play a good TVP. I'm very interested in what Ryung's bringing to the table. Like the fact that Maru's been whipping out the mech builds and stuff in this matchup. I dare say Ryung might do it too, but we have a 3cc opening for him, which even though it is greedy, it's not super punishable by Zergs.
Yeah, and the third CC is also tucked all the way back in, right? So it's gonna take a little bit longer to float, but it's also gonna be less easy to scout. So Ryung clearly doesn't want to go against hard punishes in the way of roaches or something like that, and it's very difficult to pull that trigger as a Zerg player if you don't see the third CC.
Yeah, definitely. I was just checking. I was checking what was being typed in the team chat. Zest coming along, and he's just like, "Bro, fighting now." Like, I think it was Hyung that he was typing. So, yeah, he's we're all in it now for Ryung because he's been really good so far. He's only dropped one map, which was to Harston, and he's taken down players like Trap and Clem so far in the league. He's done really, really well for the boys. And yeah, so far he's going for a bit of more of an old school build, especially with this Viking follow-up. I am so happy that there was no roach attack done, because this is the kind of, even though I said it wasn't that punishable, the fact that he's done the Viking with it, super punishable.
Yes, indeed. But again, I don't think that Armani is looking for a punish right now. He is adding extra drones and doesn't really have the information to go for it potentially, so he should be fine for now. Now Baneling Nest going down on the side of Armani. So wait, when you say Zest keeps saying bro, he's just been saying Hyung, like older brother?
Maybe. No. He's been saying bro, dude.
Okay.
Okay, it might be. I don't want to exactly say. I think he's been mixing it up. He's not a one-trick pony as Zest. He's
for sure.
He's a very intellectual player. You know, takes down Serral, loses to time when he's super far ahead. He's crazy.
He is pretty crazy indeed. And yeah, I mean, I was surprised that you got him as late as you did, as a second pick. I thought he would go in the first round of picks. So again, on paper, your team is killer, Benny. It would be a disgrace to see you guys eliminated, because I feel like if Nightmare had performed just a little bit better, taking 1 or 2 maps here and there, you guys would be in a very strong position.
Yeah, or Maru not pulling out mech against Protoss on Blackburn. You know, there's plenty of things. Maybe Zest not throwing some of the games that he did, but all right. A few Hellions do get into the main here, but Armani quick to react. That was a nice shot of all things.
On the other side, though. On the other side, the Queens are gonna get in time to block there, so really nice job from Armani still to prevent some damage. 4 drones go down, but it could have been much worse if those Queens don't get in that position.
It could have been far worse. You're absolutely right. And Armani realizes that this is the time where he can just drone up like a madman. Lair is done, can start up whatever tech he wants, and it's going to be a Spire. Most likely going to get Baneling speed fast, and as soon as I say that, he's ticking all the boxes, isn't he? And he's so far, he's fairly bulletproof. No 4th on the way just yet for him, but is going to aim to get that up and running so far. And yeah, he's not going to be too unhappy with how this has gone, because look at that drone lead that he's got.
Yeah, it's been a little bit surprising to me to see Zerx kind of gravitate towards the Spire after the little patch, because it's a little patch. I mean, I can see how the Widowmine nerf might entice people to think, okay, like maybe Mutas are a little bit better, or maybe they're a tiny bit better, but I don't think they're super good still. So to really find value with the Muta these days, it just takes so much. I want to see Armani do it, but I am not the biggest believer in Muta play just yet.
I think Hardwire in general, just because the map is more narrow, more vertical. Like Mutas have been good on maps like, what is it called? It was Jagannatha. I feel even though that's a vertical map, there's a lot more to buy time with. And even then, it's like, why would you go them instead of Lurkers? And to me, Hardwire is very much like okay, this can turn into a very defensive situation, which that isn't when Mutas super shine. But Armani's good, man. I'm never going to count him out. 1-1 will be finishing up soon for Ryung. His army is going to be pretty juicy, and it's already moving out across the map, going for the more defensive third. And yeah, Armani not seeing this triangular base is probably going to be like, and yeah, starts morphing in some Banes.
Yeah, this is going to be a very annoying position for Armani to clear. However, the tanks do siege on the high ground, which is exactly what Ryung is looking to do by the looks of it. Not hugging the walls as best as he could, perhaps. There's that little corner there where I feel like the tank would be a little bit more well protected.
Oh, that Baneling run by got totally shut down. Ryung was good about leaving just enough units there to deal with it. 1-1 still not done yet for Armani. If Armani feels he needs to go, that could be very problematic right before his 1-1's... Well, I mean, he's got about 30 seconds to buy. If he really wants 40 seconds, maybe even. Ryung's doing a good job of just making Armani's life not very pleasant.
Yeah, there's not a lot of anti-air here, but the Marines are very well tucked in now in the corner where I thought the tank should be, and that's a good position for them until reinforcements arrive. I'm surprised that Ryung is not really moving across the map with the rest of his reinforcements. It feels like Armani is going to be able to crush this army just because it's like half of Ryung's army.
Yeah, I wonder if Ryung, like, because he's so scared about a counterattack. Look at that big squad he's got left back at home.
But he scanned it, right? He scanned the army. He should know that there's no... I mean, if there's a counterattack, it's going to be tiny.
Yeah, but still, it looks like he's anticipating that. And Armani's finished up his 1-1. He's going to run off creep here, and looks like it's going to be the right play. Those Hellbats getting some juicy connections with those Zerglings. The Baneling's getting sniped by these Marines, which is nice, but good cleanup by Armani, and buys himself quite a chunk of time. Wasn't without a loss or anything, because that was a lot of Banelings used, but look at the worker count. It's not as far ahead as he wants right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was a little weird from Ryung, in my opinion, just to sit there with half of his army. Like, at some point, you're going to get cleared out. I mean, it's not like Armani, like you said, he might as well not have any Banelings there, and he would have still cleared that comfortably, right? So, at this level of play, I'm not sure. I feel like any Zerg player could have just moved into that at that point. So I don't see a world where Ryung's play was the way to go about it, but maybe on the economic front, maybe he feels like just by virtue of being there, he's forcing Armani to make units, and that's good enough for him to transition into the late game. I don't know.
Very possibly. Makes me think that Ryung's got a lot of confidence in his late game, which You know, a lot of Terrans in this matchup tend to try and shy away from that late game, right? Where it's like, oh no, I don't want to get there. But yeah, the fact that he sat there, and he's been in some decent TVZ so far, where he's quite decent with the ghosts. He was using them in a funny way. He was just like cloaking them and just running them forward and just attacking with them, which I thought was really cool. Amani has to be careful though. This army, if it fights here, if it gets committed, it could be quite bad for him.
Yeah, PF is not ready, so maybe that is the opening that he thinks he sees, but as the army of Rion collapses onto this location, it is a little bit too much, so he's gonna have to evacuate. This Muta have not found the damage or the value that Armani has been looking for. Of course, he had to use them defensively to get the clear earlier, and that was in a way good to have because, you know, you get rid of the medevacs and whatnot, but ideally with this many Muta, you want to find some poke damage elsewhere, maybe kill an SCV here and there, a gas, or just at least get some scouting.
Yeah, I certainly do. Amani's got himself up to a very nice drone count. Still making quite a lot of mutas, so has a lot of faith in those. He's going to get up to about 21. Is finishing up those upgrades as well. Ryong does have that fourth base. These Marines are a little bit stranded here. If they can take out just a few mutas, that would be nice. Maybe snipe a few Bailings here. Not where you really want to strand them, but he is resupplying on things like Marauders, Widowmines, getting the upgrades as well, up to +3. But Amani's hitting his stride, man, and he's moving up to Ultras. Those mutas finally get to where they want to be, which is the main base of his opponent. But yeah, it's going to start being chaos everywhere.
Yeah, and that is really nice. That is what you want the mutas to be doing. Takes down a reactor. It gets replaced right away from Ryong, but that will slow down his production a little bit. And the bank for Armani is there, and it's beautiful. He needs a little bit more gas, perhaps, if he's going to commit to this Muta type play. But especially going into Ultras and whatnot. And quite honestly, I would love to see an Infestor or two, but a lot of pro Zerg players just don't make that unit when they go Ultras.
That was definitely quite a few mutas being lost there, and Armani's trying to get a lot of damage done. Definitely needs to start getting a good gas bank together. Like, I would almost say, like, you know, expand like wildfire, get the gases all rolling, because you've got minerals for days, young man.
Yeah.
But he's definitely doing well when it comes to upgrades. That can't be understated.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a little bit maybe of what we were talking about, right? Like, oh, the Banelings are gonna actually barely get the Planetary Fortress. That was actually nuts. But now it might be go time for Ryong. These links are causing havoc still, so Ryong's gonna have to focus his attention a little bit on that, but he is pushing through the middle of the map as well. Ryong's not focusing his attention on that, never mind.
Okay, so Armani is getting together a big, juicy army here, but this is the moment in time where Ryong has a scary army in the map, and catches out a Thor on its way over there. Ryong heavily on creep, but heavily spread already. 3-3 not done yet for either player. Ultralisk not yet with chitinous plating, even though there's a few on the map, and Armani, he's using this time just to deal more counterattack damage, and I kind of like that for him, actually. He's playing a scary ZVT style.
Yeah, he's forcing Ryong further on to creep, further onto those Banelings, where he's not going to be able to kite back by virtue of doing damage on his side of the map. And this is a beautiful move because he took down that Planetary Fortress earlier. He knows that this is a mostly undefended position, so committing a large ramp by with the links and Muta here is a wonderful move from Giorgio. And now, like I said, I mean, Ryong is committing further on to creep. Now Armani might choose to engage. All those Banelings, don't let him come in. No!
Wow, the supply's so close for both these players. 3-3 not done yet for either player. +3 weapons is done for Ryong, so he's dealing a little bit of extra damage before those upgrades come alive for Armani. Armani still has a bigger supply available, but he's kind of tucked away in that corner. Did lose a couple of bases here. Look at the worker count for both of them. Armani in a much better economic situation, but game's not over yet. That army for Ryong is huge.
It is massive, and a lot of the clear has receded, and a lot of the creep has receded on multiple areas here. Armani choosing to go in spite of that here. He does have ultras, and there's not much of an answer to those at the moment, but
22 SCVs just went down.
Nice. So the mutas are gonna get the CC as well by the looks of it, as the Banelings are just looking to zone out the Marines to make sure that the mutas can do that. And Armani has put himself in a very strong position here. Now going after the PF, maybe he could have got it, but it gets a little bit dangerous with Ryong possibly reinforcing that location a little bit sooner.
Yeah, Ryong down to 39 SVs. It's looking pretty grim for Benny and the boys right now. It certainly is. And these Widowmines, they're going to get cleaned up by these Ultralisks, along with the Overseers here. Armani's starting to respread that creep. He's starting to look good here. Ryong, it's hard to keep up with a player as fast as Armani.
Yeah. No doubt about that. And I mean, Armani has played a pretty solid game here. Now he has all the tools that he wants. I still would love to see an Infestor, but Ghosts are already coming out for Ryang, and I think Ryang is just gonna have to take a page from Maru's playbook here, PF it up, sit back with Ghost, start adding maybe Liberators or something like that, and try to drag out the game as long as he possibly can.
Yeah, certainly will, but holding on against the Zerg it's one of the harder races to hold off against, because once your 200 supply, it only gets better there for a Zerg. You know, they're getting a bank together, they can turn every Zergling into a Baneling. And with the fact that he's got mutas on the map as well, he can just make his opponent's life in living hell. And look at that. I see all that red on the map. They got the mutas in the main, which brings the whole army back over here. Got an army out on the right side. Ryung's going to do what he can, but it's not going to be easy.
Yep, and at the front it's going to be the Ultras going on PFs with the help of Banelings. That's going to be very difficult for Ryung to hold. This planetary fortress is going down. I don't think that Ryung can hold on to 5 bases at this point. Maybe he's going to have to dial it down a little bit. Because with the Muta spreading him thin as well in the main, he's never going to have an army that's able to consolidate around that spread of a setup.
No, and Amani can trade like this for days, man. Like, even though Resources Lost tab is definitely in Ryung's favor, the game is not in Ryung's favor at all. Like, this is... Amani's playing that brute force style that we're kind of talking about. Like, if you want to play against Amani, if you do something a bit finessey, a bit like you need to do something with spellcasting and stuff, that's where the game can get very difficult for him. But this is just straight textbook. All right, you just have to play fast now and keep on top of things, and Amani's very good at that.
He sure is. Now he's gonna do a little bit of a weird poke here with Muta and Ling without anything else happening on the map. So this should get deflected easily on the side of Ryung. He has snipes as well, so that's going to cost him a Muta each. And now gets into the main. That's a better position. And in getting into the main, he is moving with the brunt of his stronger army, which is a move that I now do like. Ryung trying to do something on the other side of the map. I'm not sure if that's going to be his ticket back, but it actually keeps the army of Armani back, so it works out.
Ryung's fighting, man. Like, he absolutely is fighting. That work account's still not that good for him, considering these mutas are still dealing quite a bit of damage here. But this drop, 10 drones, bought time. Oh, that's quite a few snipes going off on these mutas as well. Yeah. If the game keeps on going like this, and Ryung can hold on for another 5 minutes or so, then cool. But the one thing I'm hoping Armani doesn't do is just go, go, go. Like, if he targets that natural, gets in there, does enough damage to continuously trade, then Ryung's in trouble. But he's actually holding back here.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Armani's not applying more pressure, right? Because now Ryung is climbing up in supply a little bit. Maybe too overconfident to try and move out at this point in time. I think he has to wait until he's maxed pretty much. But yeah, I mean, when those Muta are inside of the main, that's when Armani, I think, should be moving with his greater army to take down a base elsewhere, and that should be his win condition. I mean, this PF would have been easy pickings for the likes of his Ultra Bane maxed out army with a massive bank, right? But he chooses to sit back. One medevac keeps him back, and now it's Ryung pushing on creep. Again, a weird move from the Korean Terran, for me at least.
It is weird, but there's not enough Banelings on it. He's trying to make 45 Banelings at once, man. Like, this is actually getting real close. 56 Banelings in production. Armani, you are making this real damn difficult for yourself. He is doing a counter-attack right now, which I think he's going to deal quite a lot of damage. Just take out that 4th base with all those mutas, which is a nice play by him. And he made life difficult for himself.
Did he?
Whoa, GG. Oh. Okay, you said did he? But he was making life tricky. It didn't have to be that hard.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I think that Ryung was kind of in a position where if he gets maxed, he's kind of back in the game. And then he chooses to move out with 160, 170 supply. So